Copyright disclaimer. Under Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Okay, this comes from Cora, dated January 6th, Bill Hall, Scientology TM Watcher. Scientology teachings put children at risk of abuse. These teachings include: there are no innocent children in the world. What the outside world sees as a baby or child, check it out, Child Protective Services, is a mindless remote control vehicle that the mind of a spirit being selected to pilot after its last vehicle died. The spirit being is not a child, since it's a gazillion years old, and it's not innocent, since it's seen and done most everything under the sun, including just about every sex act imaginable. Including just about every sex act imaginable. A young girl who shudders because a man passionately kisses her is not acting rationally. Inversion. She should see nothing wrong in the kiss and is instead reacting to a trauma. The trauma, possibly prenatal, must have made men or kissing seem bad to her. Abused children are not victims since they cause the abuse together with the abuser. They need to take corrective actions for those causes, including reconciling with the abuser. Isn't that great, you guys? When the children get raped, they're supposed to reconcile with the abuser. Child abusers who are Scientologists should not be reported to the outside world. Inside, they call it the WOG world, which is a racial expletive. But that's what people outside of Scientology are referred to as. Physically disabled children chose to be that way, since they chose the body that they're piloting. Yeah, look into some of the allegations about John Travolta. I haven't vetted them out, but there's talk about how he treated his son. I don't know. I wasn't there like BJ Investigates says. Funding the Church of Scientology is more important than funding a child's education, unless it's Scientology training. A child can perform almost any task. This is the one I brought up earlier. A child can perform almost any task without training. Isn't that wonderful, you guys? If they get in touch through Scientology processing with how they used to do the task in one of their prior lives. You know, stats, production. There's no such thing as a learning disability, only a lack of Scientology processing. And that Scientology processing can be auditing and what were we reading about the other day? Dianetics processing. If a child does not understand a concept, or a misunderstood word I'm thinking, then it either wasn't presented to them properly. He talks about children like they're dogs. Starting with easy stuff before hard stuff, using pictures. Or they have a misunderstood word. Yeah, I was thinking of that. A good dictionary is all that's needed to understand anything that's presented properly. Ailments should never be treated with psychotropic drugs. Oh, you mean like the ones you took, Hubbard? Huh. There's no such thing as a safe and effective psychotropic drug, and never can be. Yeah, because, you know, he was a medical person. Epilepsy only needs Scientology processing. Well, ask Tori Magoo how that worked out. She'll tell you. A mainstream mental health professional should never treat mental ailments like you did, Hubbard, with no credentials. They're all quacks practicing a pseudoscience like you do, right, Hubbard? That doesn't realize that a mind is trillions of years old, exists independent of a brain, and only needs Scientology processing when not operating properly. Every psychiatrist most likely should be in jail for rape. Oh, wow. You would know, huh, Hubbard? Or other vile crimes against their patients. Talk about projection. According to Scientology teachings, an ancient spirit piloting a young body acts as a young being for several reasons. These include the young body is still developing into its fully operational capabilities. The mind of the spirit being is still grappling with how to make the new and underperforming body talk and move and such. The mind of the spirit being is still traumatized by the death of the previous body it was piloting and by other between lives events. Let's see if there were any responses. 763 views, only 2 upvotes, allegedly. Let's see what this lady says. Hold on, you guys. Aletta Sloan, Jehovah's Witness, states, wait a minute. Well, I'm just going to go with it even though she's Jehovah's. As far as I'm aware, there's no such things as kids not joining Scientology if their parents are. I don't know if that's true. What I do know is that they tried to get me interested when I was a kid, and I was so uninterested that they rejected my father. Is that normal operating procedure? Unclear. I just went to look at their website in hopes of finding out, but I found nothing about kids on it at all. Yeah, she didn't look enough. Perhaps that is because they, like the Church of Satan, believe that people under the age of 6 are children, and 6-year-olds are just adults needing to be trained properly. Yeah, that's the cover story. Like all other adults who are not yet trained. I, however, only know this from the point of view of children I met who had parents that were Scientologists, and an actress with an axe to grind, which might be for a legitimate reason, but I am not a witness of that. Oh, more minimizing. I'm not even going to read that. Because they didn't do any research. They're just talking out of their, you know what. Oh, here we go. Jenna Ravenstone replies to the original, is Scientology a dangerous cult or a misunderstood religion? Oh, so this is a different post. Scientology destroyed my sister-in-law's life. They turned her into a hollow-eyed zombie. She looks 20 years older than she is. Once wealthy, she is now surviving on a pittance. Her eyes are vacant and have a 1,000-yard stare. She is incapable of a normal conversation, frightened, uncomfortable, and awkward. She dresses like a poor housewife from the 1950s, completely oblivious to the world around her. She has no soul, no will. Yeah, that's black magic. And no brains. She acts like a moron, and if she's waiting for every decision to be decided for her, she has no friends except vague relationships with a few other soulless kooks. She never married or had children. They like it like that. She is not allowed a phone or internet access. She didn't used to be like this at all. She was the opposite of this in every way. The answer is highly destructive cult. Thanks for the question. I'm going to go to the question. Or wait, you know what? Sorry I went off, but I'll come back to that one tomorrow. I wanted to see, hold on here. I think somebody did something to the responses. That's what I think. Okay, since the original post, somebody deleted all the responses. Something weird happened. I'm going to read some of these other topics started regarding Scientology. Okay, Cameron Crest. What is Scientology all about? Scientology is a long con, presented to the uninformed as the ultimate self-help solution at first. It's the hook. But later revealed to have a mission to save the planet and the universe at the members' expense or else. Common sense repackaged and complicated at a cost. To new members, it promotes common sense principles that work. Yeah, and that's why you always hear, oh, Scientology's helping me. Scientology rebrands common sense and complicates it to give it deeper meaning. Scientologists spend a lot of time studying Scientology's version of common sense so they can apply it in their own lives as they see fit. They take and deliver courses at a cost to members. Do a search for Scientology cost on Google to learn more. It's in the hundreds of thousands to make it to the top level. L. Ron Hubbard founder created a ton of words that Scientologists use among themselves in everyday speak. All of them can be translated from Scientologese back into English. People who leave Scientology after many years often find themselves searching for the English version of what they are trying to say. Example, my 2D is PTS to his 3D. In Scientologese becomes my boyfriend is very stressed out and sick because of his job in English. Okay, I'm not going to read all of this. Okay, I'm going to end it there. I'm not going to read that whole thing. I will leave a link in the description box. Like and subscribe if you choose. Otherwise, have an amazing day or night wherever you are. Peace.